Welcome back everyone, Zero XP here, and we are back with the final episode in our MGS2 long review. We've had some highs, we've most certainly had our lows, but above all we've had fun. Yes, doing cartwheels, beating up guards and hiding in lockers is how I like to spend my free time. It's been a privilege to replay such a masterpiece created by the legend that is Kojima. But we are not done yet, so enough talk, grab your Stinger missile, sharpen your sword as we finish Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty. Okay, let's go take us down one Metal Gear. What the? Oh yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. This time around we had to face off not one, not two, but multiple Metal Gears. Yes, if you thought facing off with Metal Gear Rex was hard enough, then you would be right. Yes, oddly enough, this time around there are more Metal Gears to face off with, but the battle formula is much easier. Metal Gear Ray is armed with the same weapons as Rex, such as missiles and lasers, but minus Liquid Snake controlling it. These AI simulated gears are much more docile, almost like a little puppy. To take down a Metal Gear Ray, the technique was simple. Shoot a Stinger missile into the knee, down the Ray, and then fire a missile straight to its face. If you don't fancy kneecapping, then a shot to the face is fine, but the amount of damage you deal is much less. So, kneecapping is advised. You might be wondering, is that it? Kneecap, shoot, rinse and repeat? And that's where you're wrong, because along with taking on 3 rays, you also have to dodge missiles, dodge bullets and lasers, whilst also trying to shoot at the same time. If you are unlucky enough to slip up, then a downward slope you will face, which is a common theme in this game when it comes to the boss battles. If you learn the formula, then basically you become Neo out of the Matrix. After doing enough damage, the rays will back off and another ray will take its place. Oh no, I'm out of ammo. Well, that's me done. Wouldn't it be great if a box of ammo randomly spinning, waiting to be picked up here you go. Oh. Okay. Thanks. With all said and done, I really liked this boss battle. I know for a lot of people it can be a bit of a rinse and repeat formula, but I think the pacing is good and it really does keep you gripped, making you question when it will end. And just as you start to have fun, the battle concludes. MGS2 really kicks things off with some of the best scenes of the entire series, beginning with Olga's sacrifice. Even after playing the game so many times, Olga's sacrifice pays a lot of homage to MGS3, as the boss is also a victim of the Patriot's child abduction and manipulation when Ocelot was taken at birth. Both are strong female characters, some of the best in the series. With Snake and Raiden tied up, this is where the truth is revealed and relationships fall apart. Fortune shows up to collect her bounty on Snake, while Solidus confronts her about her plan to take Arsenal gear.
Planning to hijack Arsenal?
Huh?
You were going to screw me over, weren't you?
Who talked? Ocelot?
Not exactly. I was the one who used Ocelot to suggest the idea to you in the first place.
Solidus explains that he never wanted Arsenal gear and that his main goal was to get the Patriots' names. Then, in true Metal Gear Solid style, we get another surprise from the Master of Disguise himself, Revolver Ocelot. His presence dominates the screen. His sinister laugh with his slow but calculated foot pacing really sets up the scene for a big twist.
What exactly do you find so funny?
Charades usually are humorous.
In true Ocelot fashion, we learn that he has been, of course, working for the Patriots all along, and confirms that the events that happened in the game were nothing more than a scripted exercise, the aim of which was to produce soldiers which matched the skill set of Solid Snake, which helps make sense of the reason for Raiden's mission in the first place. Everything was set up to mirror the events of Shadow Moses, although not identical but similar in so many ways. Think about it. Infiltration by swimming, the infamous lift scene, Dead Cell instead of Foxhound, the ninja, all scripted and set up to test Raiden with the aim of grooming him as the replacement of Solid Snake. Mad at the idea of living a simulated life, Fortune takes aim, but like the scene of an old western, is beaten to the draw by Ocelot. Fortune is wounded by the bullet, but after returning fire, the truth of this so-called Lady Luck is exposed, or so we are led to believe. Yes, Ocelot confirms this was nothing more than an illusion, a shield system that has led us to believe all along that Fortune was invincible and incapable of death.
There's no such thing as miracles or the supernatural, only cutting-edge technology.
By proving this by using the same shield to deflect the electric shot fired by Fortune. Ah, so this is why Ocelot has the balls to laugh in the face of everyone he betrayed again. That all makes sense now. Thank God we finally know the reason for Fortune's inability to die. That is until Kojima throws another curveball. Yes, it turns out she really did have luck on her side, as we see in this scene where Ocelot fires everything he has at her, but for it all to miss. So is she really Lady Luck with supernatural powers? Yes to Lady Luck, but no to supernatural powers. While it's not confirmed, it is believed that her shield was re-enabled at the last minute to preserve her legacy. By who? Or why? It's never confirmed, but could this have been Ocelot? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Had enough twists and surprises yet? Well, how about another? Yes, we are then reintroduced to our favourite typical British accent villain, Liquid Snake.
I've been waiting for this!
I honestly forgot about this scene, which pays tribute to Kojima and the writers, catching us all off guard and our mouths to drop. Yes, he is back, and this is actually the first time I believe we are graced with the presence of all Prodigy Snakes on screen at the same time. Liquid reveals he's off to settle the score with the Patriots before disappearing into the depths of the sea, with Solid Snake in pursuit. I love how Solid Snake swan dives after Liquid.
Hey, Snake! You coming?
This whole scene for me was pure fan indulgence, full of lots of twists, turns, and easily ranks itself as one of the best scenes of the game and the whole series on a whole. With the party finishing early, we are then left with Raiden and Solidus to settle a score. Dad against son, mentor against trainee, yet another throwback to MGS3, which as a game does not yet exist. As Arsenal Gear speeds under Verrazano Bridge, Raiden and Solidus are then seen falling randomly onto Federal Hall after presumably crashing. This scene always confused me, as it's not until after you realise that Arsenal Gear has crashed, and I'm always left wondering how did they get from Verrazano Bridge to Federal Hall? Surely they couldn't have fallen or have been flung that far, right? I mean, it's a whole 11 miles. So after doing some digging online, I found that the scene of Arsenal gear crashing into Manhattan was removed due to the recent events that took place on 9/11. Out of respect, Kojima decided not to include the scene with the awful atrocities that had occurred in New York only 1 month prior to its release. Solidus goes on to give us some presidential spiel before telling us he plans to liberate the world of the Patriots, and finally announces the title of the game.
And we will become the Sons of Liberty!
Solidus, like the good foster dad he is, reveals he in fact killed Raiden's parents before raising him as his own, and as a product of Big Boss himself, then confirms there can only be one winner, as we are then flung in a battle to the death. Okay, for my playthrough I decided to not use the sword and instead opted for my bare hands. If you watch any of my previous videos, you would know that I always like to play Metal Gear Solid as a non-lethal run, but if you play this for the first time, you cannot wait to finally start living it up as a ninja. Seriously, I remember playing this game at 7 years old, getting to this scene, and finding out that I can use the sword. Do you know how long they teased me since playing Metal Gear Solid 1 at the thought of being able to use a sword? You use the right analog stick to swing the sword from left to right, up and down, and pressing the stick in to perform a lunge. Do you know how impressive this was back in 2001? This helped show off the PlayStation 2's features with not only graphical enhancement but also the controls. This is a great final boss battle, and do you want to know why? It's because I lost count on the amount of times that I died. Solidus packs a wide range of attacks, first being his weird tentacle Doc Ock looking arms. If you get too close he will lunge at you with these. He also uses these for climbing and performing a jumping attack, so watch out for those. He of course also has his dual wielding swords, which he will use in rapid succession of each swipe, and also uses a heavy blow. Next in his arsenal are his thrusters, which have a trail of hot burning fire, which he will use to get close to you or move away. With multiple moves and tricks up his sleeve, this is what makes him a challenging boss indeed. Timing is everything. One little slip up is enough for you to rage quit and start again. Yes, this happened to me a lot of times, but as I said earlier, this is what is always a good sign of a great game. The boss battle is split into two parts. I found the second part to be more difficult out of the two, as this is where he ramps up the speed of his attacks, which forces you to run around a lot and pick your shots carefully. Is it just me, or did Solidus remind you of a Dragon Ball Z character? After sinking what felt like hours into this battle, I eventually was victorious, which I really did feel was earned after playing this game through on hard mode. Raiden strikes Solidus across the spine, causing the ex-president to fall from power next to the statue of George Washington. Solid Snake then shows up to enlighten Raiden and set him free into the new world. I never quite understood this scene, and can honestly say it still leaves me confused. Not only is there a huge robot just lying there crashed into Manhattan, but there's also two dudes stood there in Lycra, one with a sword on his back just chilling. Now I know New York is full of lots of interesting characters, but is this a normal everyday occurrence? There is also another scene when Rose shows up, but the less we talk about that, the better.
See me for what I am, okay?
Annoying fuck. The credits then roll and we are then treated to a final cutscene which pans out like this.
Snake, you there? It's me. I've finished going over that disc.
Did you find the Patriots list?
Of course. It contains the personal data of 12 people. There was a name on it. Snake, it was one of our biggest contributors.
What's going on around here?
I don't know.
Anyway, where are they?
Well, we were right about them being on Manhattan, but
But what?
they're already dead. All 12 of them.
When did it happen?
Well, about 100 years ago.
What the hell?
Before starting this review, I always knew that Metal Gear Solid 2 was a good game, and it's a game I'd played many times before. I just always preferred Metal Gear Solid 1 and 3. So what do I think now? Do I still think the same? And to answer your question, yes. But As a story and gameplay mechanics overall, I am as shocked as much as I am impressed. If I've said it once before, I will say it again. This game was released in 2001. 2001! Just look at the visuals. They're sharp, vivid, the mechanics are simple. And you know what? I like simple. The game glides like a graceful swan on water. The voice acting is grade A, top tier. Remember the big upset we got as a player when we played The Last of Us Part 2? With the realization we had to depart from playing as the main character we grew to know and love? Well, Kojima did this 20 years earlier. I consider this to be a bit like the prequels to the original Star Wars trilogy. We all know the originals are better, but the following story is aged like a fine wine, and I finally understand and respect why Kojima shook up the formula for the better.
You're changing sides now?
Change sides? I don't recall saying I was on yours.
If Konami managed to revive the series and pull this off without stripping away the magic that Kojima injected, then an MGS2 remake is something I'm looking forward to the most. Well, that's it guys for this mini-series. I hope you enjoyed the videos and the overall MGS2 review. If you like what you saw, please hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.